What a fucking week, friends. Good morning. It's 9:30. It's the 24th day of July, 2025. The sun is bright and shiny for once, and it has been a unbelievably weird week for pop culture. Ozzy Osborn passed away. Rest well, Prince of Darkness. Hulk Hogan just passed away. Westwell, immortal. The bullshit with Vsojo and ironmouse and all the other VTubers leaving Vsojo and finding out how much money Vsojo hasn't paid them in over a year. And turns out Vsojo was actually been scummy for a while, but due to NDAs, people like Silver and Nanners couldn't talk about it, or Buff Puff and all the other VTubers who have had to deal with the more shady side. And now we just find out that Ichio is up to some unscrupulousness, which is the only thing that really affects our industry here in the tabletop role-playing game community. First, let's just take a moment to acknowledge Ozzy and acknowledge Hogan. You know, IRL Hogan might have been a piece of shit, but in the 80s and 90s, he was pro wrestling. He was a living, breathing hero. And you don't have WWE today or TNA today or AEW today or Hulk or Cena or any of the other stuff without Hogan. You do not have pop culture pro wrestling without Hogan. And you do not have rock without Ozzy. And I guess you don't have VTubers without Vsojo. So moving on. All right. So this popped across the feeds today, inviting our friends over at Itichio, itichio. Remember, we don't like Itichio for two reasons. One, they've said some shitty things about people who I respect and in the industry and people I'm associated with. And two, we don't like Itichio because when their products, their little PDFs and video games have a history of being loaded with malware and viruses. So Ichio's most well known for being on the fringe with like weird independent games, and journaling games and no DM games and games that catered to maybe not so white bread D&D audience. Coyote and Crow, Thirsty Stars Lesbians, Alice is Missing. That weird game about the woman who wanted to turn herself into a horse. Those are all games that got birthed over on Ichio. So Ichio is known for being not safe for work, a little bit more adult, a little bit more out there, more comfortable with dealing with weird topics, more comfortable with dealing with, more stuff like very political things. Sometimes good political things, sometimes bad political things, but they weren't afraid to jump on whatever the latest political controversy bandwagon was, sometimes to their detriment. They would. So this comes as a surprise, but apparently Ichio has delisted all their not safe for work games. And considering that was a huge chunk of their product line, the more adult, the more risque, the more not safe for work type games, they delisted him. Not only that, but they've gone into the libraries of people who paid for them and removed them. So if you've bought product from Ichio and you still have that stuff in the Ichio library and you haven't downloaded it and saved it, they've gone in and removed it. Snip, snip, snip. That seems pretty shitty. And they didn't tell you. I mean, we know Wizards of the Coast has done that and can do that, but that seems to go against Ichio's whole claim to fame, the whole, point of free speech and get as freaky as you want on our website with our product. We don't care. And if you want to hide some viruses and malware, we're not going to stop you. I mean, they were very Wild West. They were very extremely liberal, extremely sparkle troll, extremely social justice, sometimes so liberal and social justice that even Democrats like me, who are pretty liberal, are going, that's too far. Okay? It's a game. You should just be pushing games, not political ideals. So now for them to just turn a 180 and become extremely conservative and go, nope, no more porn, No more lgbqt, no more anything that could be considered not safe for work or adult or uncomfortable. And some people are saying, well, so what? It's the porn. Who the fuck cares about porn? You could find your porn anywhere, But I think it's more, that's not the point that they're saying no more adult. What they're saying is, I know we've said this is okay in the past. We've built our brand on this, but now we're doing a 180 and saying nope. And also, we're not telling you that we did it. You got to figure this out on your own, that those titles you paid for are gone. Thanks for the money. We're not giving you the money back. That's the third thing is that they took product that you paid for out of your library, completely removed it, and you're not getting that money back. And they're not acknowledging it yet. So I guess Ichio is going to be the next Vsojo. We're going to have a mass exodus of people leaving Ichio, not wanting to work with them because, hey, why stop with adult? What if they go after horror next? Because the conservative, right-wing, whatever you want to call them, decide that horror is questionable. Don't want horror. It's uncomfortable. That's dangerous. That's right up there with the book, the game about the woman who wanted to be a horse, or the sex games, or Thirsty Swords Lesbians. Horror's scary. Let's remove horror. So, and then why stop there? We don't know what's next that Ichio's now suddenly going to decide doesn't fit their brand, which I guess now is fuck free speech if it's uncomfortable or adult or a little too out there, or so now are they what, conservative instead of liberal? Is all the LGB stuff gone? All the other things. Weird that a company that built their brand on free speech, that built their brand on we don't care how weird or out there it is, we're going to sell it and we're going to do charities for it and we're going to put bundles together. And if you're uncomfortable with a game about a woman who wants to become a horse, or LGBTQ relations or trans or anything like that, we don't care. Even if people say crappy things about us and call us names, we don't care. We are free speech. We're the indie free speech home. Be as freaky as you want. We'll back you. Are now saying, well, fuck that. No, that's uncomfortable. It's inappropriate. We're not going to back that stuff that we built our brand on because now we're right-wing Christian or something. Now we don't believe in free speech. Now we're into banning games, and not just banning games, but going into your library, mom and pop gamer out there, and removing the product, not telling you that they did it, and not giving you your money back. You know who else is doing that? Wizards of the Coast. Now, I can't find anything more about it. But it has been confirmed that this happened by 16 hours ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. At least 30 people have confirmed that this has happened so far. So, yeah. There you go. So this is not just some myth. Ichio has removed their stuff. I guess the stuff that Grim Jim had on there is gone. And since my stuff was through Grim Jim, I guess my stuff is gone. And if you paid for any of their things in the past, whenever, I've known about them for at least 4 years, but I'm sure they were around longer than that. And you had their libraries on the site. Well, that stuff's gone if it falls underneath this new not safe for work sex porn gooner thing. And people are like, well, who cares? You can just find your porn elsewhere. And again, guys, it's not the point. It's not the point that it was porn. It's the point that they removed anything. A company who's built their brand on free speech. And what's to stop them from just stopping there? What's to stop them from looking at the libraries and going, hey, you downloaded Cthulhu by the beach. That's horror. That's inappropriate. We're getting rid of that. Hey, you've got that game about mice. Well, that's cruelty to animals. What's to stop them? What's to stop them for just going through your entire library of stuff you paid for, removing it because they find it inappropriate for their new position, and not refunding you the money? Again, They're not refunding the money. They're just going in, shitting stuff up, coming back out, but they're not paying you back. You know who else is doing that with your product? Wizards of the Coast. What a fucked up week. We've got the Vsojo thing, and every day we're finding out more and more stuff about Vsojo. Now we've got this. We've got Ozzy Osborn gone. We've got the Hulkster gone. I mean, where does it end, guys? Where does it end? This has been a pretty weird week for pop culture. And if you're a commentator on pop culture like me, you're going to see the reprobations. Guys, you don't have pro wrestling today or in anything that pro wrestling influences today without the Hulkster. So, yeah, sure. Maybe he was a POS in real life, but damn, he changed so many people's lives in the 80s and 90s. He was the face of the industry. And the NWO, the stuff he did when he was on Turner with Hall and Nash, game breaking, industry changing. I mean, yeah, people rioted when the NWO. I mean, we hadn't seen heat like that since Piper and Flair and stuff like that. This guy, Hogan and Hall and Nash changed the industry. You don't have WWE, the Attitude Era. You don't have a John Cena. So, yeah, say what you will. The guy, wow. I know I'm going to get demonetized for using the music, but it is the Fabian theme song. So, gotta play it. And of the Hulkster. Weird build-up. Here we go. Rest well, Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osborn. Rest well, the immortal Hulk Hogan. Good luck with your future, all the boys and girls from Vsojo who just left. And if you're a fan of Ichio, I'm sorry.